just look around. You got the mountains. You got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
It's here it's Tennessee, so we're gonna get the best guys here. That's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. Nobody has a spot, nobody's comfortable. We're all working. Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it before. I can feel it again. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it in hands. I can feel it in time. I can feel it coming in the air now. Oh no, we fell in love. You remember the time. How could I ever forget? You remember the time. Oh no, we fell in love. You remember the time. How could I ever forget? Coming in the air now. We fell in love. You remember? Coming in the air now. Our first time, we our best time. It turned into nighttime. I'm sipping on a fine wine, shining like the skyline. Wish I could rewind time and replay it in my mind. Replay it in my mind. Oh no, they'll never know this love and how it feels. I never thought love at first sight could feel so real. You brought emotions out I couldn't feel.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm yours truly, the X Factor.
And I'm Coach Jay.
I'm Dauber. What's happening, fellas?
Please tell me his internet is not that laggy. I hope it's not that far behind. It could make for a long BR-oodle conversation. Look, it's Talkin VAWLS Live. Tennessee had their second spring scrimmage of spring camp. And look, first scrimmage doesn't matter, but second scrimmage, everything matters. I'm ready to bench people, fire people, and have some fun. We're going to talk about it all right here on Talkin VAWLS Live. Got a fun, jam-packed show. I was telling the guys right before we went live, I was like, man, I don't know. I may stay live all night. We may go 2-3 hours. They have full permission to drop anytime they want to drop. I feel like we got so much stuff to talk about. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how long we stay live. Let's jam through the live chat, see who's hanging out. The kid was in the house. What's up, Elijah? Good to see you in the chat. My friend, John Hill is here. Let's go, Big Orange. Matt Doomit is in the house. What's up, Matt? Always here. Every time we're live, Matt's here. Appreciate you hanging out, buddy. Philip from Wartburg is here. Daniel Campbell is here. Robert Clark in the house. What's up, Robert? Brad is here. What's up, Brad? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Who else we got here? Kelly Goodwin is in the house. Fuga, spoiler alert, t-shirt coming your way this fall. Be on the lookout for that. Wade Rouse is in the house. What's up, buddy? Wade's got a tattoo. He has a Talkin VAWLS tattoo on his body. That is what you call diehard. That's what you call dedicated. Love it, man. Love it. Wade is
I got to
an
talk
OG.
I got to talk to Wade on the phone on over the week.
What is happening?
Am I lagging?
It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, back out, Dauber, real quick. Back out and reboot, and then there you go. Like a true professional, he bounces into the darkness.
And
like
then there were 3.
He's like a ninja. You know what ninjas hate? You know what they hate, guys?
What's that?
Crunchy leaves and bad internet. That's what I heard. That's what somebody told me.
I mean, are we talking about these ninjas though?
Oh,
I mean,
I don't know. That's like a fake. That's like a fake ninja. Is that a real ninja? Is that a fake ninja?
I don't know. Look, you about to go to war with the chat now. Look, everybody knows about the anime.
Wait, who wins a fight? Who wins a fight between him and Batman?
So Naruto and Batman?
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd actually be pretty tough.
Batman 10 out of 10 times with time to prepare, right? That's the gimmick.
I don't know.
Beats everybody with time to prepare. Hey, we're here to talk about football, though. It's not Sunday night. We'll talk about that conversation on Sunday night. Culberson's in the house. What is up, Culberson? Arkansas Vol is here. I've already hit Kelly. He says I'll be talking by 15 minutes after. How dare you? It's 7:07, and we're already in the show. Mrs. Coach J watching from another room, I suppose. Who else we got here? That's it. Let's jump over to some super chats here. John Hill. I love how this rolls out. John Hill for $11.79. What a weird dollar amount. Thank you, John. Go Vols. Hate Georgia. Thank you for the super chat, John. We appreciate it. Seth ups the ante. He wants to be on that leaderboard down below. It's a new month. We got a new leaderboard. You can find your name down there below, Seth, for $12. I raise yours, John. Boom, boom, room. Entry fee. How's family doing tonight? Let's talk Vol football. Thank you, Seth, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Wayne Stars for $5. Also dropping that entry fee. I love when you guys come in and you drop a tip in the tip jar right out of the gate. Look at the chat. Look at the chat. The chat is with Boogie. Batman wins every single time. Every single time.
Now, trust me, I am a Batman fan. I love me some Batman. Love me some Batman.
Scott Bennett for $5. Cover charge. Let me in. Go Big Orange. Well, thank you, Scott, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thinking about doing a fan call-in show maybe next Wednesday. I'm trying to give you guys as much content as possible during spring practice. Of course, they're going to be off for a few days. Then they'll be back on the practice field next week, leading up to the orange and white game. Don't forget, tailgate party. We will be tailgating out at G10, right outside the stadium. G10 parking garage. I don't know if we're going to be on the top floor, second floor, third floor. Be following us on social media, on the YouTube community tab. I'll put that out there and let you guys know. Come hang out. It's going to be a blast. Dauber's going to meet us down there. X Factor's riding down with me. I know JP's going. I don't know if we're going to carpool, but it's going to be a blast, man. I cannot wait. I hope you guys will come hang out. I know that Big Vol Daddy's going to be down there as well. He's going to come hang out. And then myself and Big Vol Daddy going to go live Monday morning after the orange and white game and kind of recap everything. So it should be a good time. Angry Titan for $12.50. I feel like this is a bidding war. A bidding war says, who's going to knock me off the leaderboard? All right, let me update the leaderboard. Get Angry Titan on there, guys. Scrimmage number 2 in the books today. Sounds like the offense took a step. Coach Jay, you're a defensive coach, right? And everybody says, and sometimes I feel like what happens. This is what happens. Somebody puts out the narrative, and maybe it's right. I don't know. Maybe it's 100% accurate. You never want the offense to win scrimmage number 1. And then every person with a microphone in front of their just like, is it something I said? Did I say something offensive to Coach Jay?
No, I don't think so.
All right, this show is off to a great start. I wanted to ask him that because he's a football coach, but let's just reset. Let's recycle. Let's reuse, reduce, recycle. Let's play this real quick.
Like I said, we play with a chip on our shoulder at Tennessee. So, we get a lot of disrespect. So we want to make it clear that we're going to come out and dominate day in and day out.
I needed that to reset and refocus, and now Bleed Orange is giving me something else to focus on for $50. $50 is not cheap. That is a very generous super chat. When you drop a 50 spot, we got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
If this is anybody's first time watching our channel, they're 100% going, this is a circus. I'm never coming back to this again. Bleed Orange for $50. That is not cheap. Little over a week away from Orange and entry fee and a little more. Orange and white game coming from Texas to check out my first one. Looking forward to meeting all that make it to the tailgate. Thank you, Bleed Orange. Very generous. Appreciate that super chat. I'll go ahead and update the leaderboard again. I will keep updating it over and over and over as you guys want to get that name out there. But thank you, Bleed Orange. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. Making that long drive in. Should be a good time hanging out. Again, G10 Parking Garage. We'll be there around 11 a.m. So come find us. Come look for us. It'll be a good time. All right, Coach Jay, let's reset. Let's start over. Let's pretend that none of that happened. What I was saying was, scrimmage number 1, defense won the day. And we talked about it. Myself and JP, Coach T, head high school coach out of the state of Tennessee, got to watch that scrimmage. And, we talk about you don't want your offense to win that first one. And I feel like it's a cliche. One person says it, and everybody repeats it. As a defensive coach, as a football coach in general, what is that all about? And why is that said? Why do you not want your offense winning scrimmage number 1?
I mean, I think you just kind of want to throw the kitchen sink at them opening day if you can. If you have the depth to do so, I think it's really important to do so. And not only that, look, these guys, they got into pads. You're running drills. You're running your butt off. You just got out of the weight room, out of a long extended period in the weight room. You're ready to hit someone, right? Live bullets are going to start flying. You want to hear those pad pops, right? It feels good to put a licking on someone, and I know all those good defenders out there can't wait to step on that first scrimmage field and get popping someone. And I think that has as much to do with it as anything. I think you just come out hot, you come in fired up, and you come in wanting to put a pop on someone. And obviously a lot of young talent on this defense. Those guys want to show out, right? They want to get in there and they want to show what they can got and play fast. And I think that has as much to do with it as anything.
Well, the coming out of the reports coming out, and again, it basically stems from what Josh Heupel says. We're going to get into it. We're going to take a listen to his press conference, but it sounds like the offense kind of won the day. You had some guys out on defense. Aaron Beasley was out. Keenan Peely was out. Nothing to freak out about. It's just, hey, you're protecting guys, right? Keeping them healthy. It's the spring. Those are 2 veteran guys. They're going to be just fine. But this counted as Tennessee's 10th practice. They're going to take a few days off. They'll be back out on the practice field next week, kind of leading up to the orange and white game. Dauber, one of the things coming out of this scrimmage was the running back room. And I won't lie, man, the running back room was something I was concerned about because you're looking at Jabari Small, Jalen Wright, Dylan Sampson. Depth is what I was concerned about. But you've
got a couple guys that have played well at times, but not been able to stay on the field. So, yeah, that is a concern. But you've got 3 guys that have played quite a bit. So I think you throw in a couple of the new guys in certain packages and certain looks. Going back to what Coach Jay was saying about defense and practice or scrimmage 1, a lot of young guys, new guys, but you look at the strength of that defense, I think it's going to be the front. And that defensive line, from everything that we heard, was getting after it and, really kind of getting home and applying pressure, which is something good to hear because that was kind of an Achilles heel last year. It forced Banks to have to call the game aggressively, use his linebackers in blitz and stunts to, try to apply that pressure, therefore putting the back end on islands and having to play more man and less coverage. So, I like the fact that coming out, the defense is hungry and getting after it and being aggressive, but in a way that is going to hopefully help some of those deficiencies that we've seen the last couple of years. Because I still think that we're not quite where I'd like to see the back end, but we've got some young guys coming up that, man, if they push some guys or start vying for time and get in there, hey, I'm all for it. But yeah, going back to what you're saying about the running back room, Boogie, I think you've got guys that have experience if they can stay healthy and stay on the field for sustained, length of the season.
And then what I want to add on to the running back room as well is that I've heard talks about it that they said Cam Seldon, they said he's a beast. They said that man is a beast based off the reports. So, and I'm really excited about him because if I can recall, I think me and Boogie, we did a recruiting video on him, or when he did his commitment video. Like, I mean, we actually watched, his footage, and I'm sure Coach, you saw like his footage as well. But yeah, I mean, the kid is fast, man. Like, I mean, he comes out just like he shot out of a cannon. I mean, I say he likes physical contact. Well, he's not scared of contact. He's fast. I mean, I'm really excited to see this kid. But I also want to throw out there, too, is that I want to see how the lineup situation is going to be. Who's going to be, saying running back one in the second punch, because, we all know, what Jalen Wright did this past offseason, having some Twitter fingers saying, hey, give me a new NIL deal. If not, I'm going to hit the portal. I'm out of here. So now you're in a situation to where it's like, okay, so who's going to be your starting running back? Is it still going to be Jabari Small, or is it Jalen Wright? Because, see, now that he got this new NIL deal. So that's going to be something kind of interesting to see, too, going into the season.
I want to give a shout-out to somebody in the chat real quick, and then I want to come back to this conversation that we're having here. Where'd he go? Man, why am I struggling tonight? Big Dog Brett is in the house. What's up, Big Dog Brett? Says, good evening, gents. If you don't know who Big Dog Brett is, he represents the Georgia Bulldogs. I just wanted to play a clip for him and let Big Dog Brett know how much we love him. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that, no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. I had to do that for Big Dog Brett. Look, man, I'm looking forward to collaborating with him this year. We're going to get him on Georgia Week and have some fun. He's a good dude, man. We started off on the wrong foot, but through Big Vol Daddy, we brought things back together. So I'm looking forward to doing some collabs with Big Dog Brett once we get into the season. So always good to see him in the chat. Coming back full circle, before we went down this weird back road talking about running backs, the defense, the defensive line, the secondary, back to running backs. The point of the conversation was the running backs really seemed to lead the offense today. Dylan Sampson had a big touchdown run. Actually, let me do this. Let me put that up on the screen here real quick. Dylan Sampson had a big touchdown run in the scrimmage today. Let's take a look at that. I like the energy from Gerald Mincy there.
Was that untouched?
Yeah, it was, and I think it was like 60-plus yards. And look, we were talking about the hype video I put out earlier today. When I was watching that, I was getting fired up about some dudes like Dylan Sampson, like Ramel Keaton. Watching the hype, I'm like, oh, yeah, how quickly we forget. But the running back room, I was concerned because you really got three upperclassmen, right? And then behind them, it's freshmen. And I'm like, man, that's not enough depth, especially when you got a guy like Jabari Small who has struggled to stay healthy. But then you got Dylan Sampson, going into his second season. I think he's going to be special, very special. Cam Seldon got an opportunity today. Xavier, you were talking about him. Didn't scrimmage last week or on Saturday, had a shoulder issue, but he was out there today and living up to the hype. But Deshaun Bishop, Coach Jay, does it not blow your mind at all? Second straight scrimmage, he's coming out of it with a lot of buzz, a lot of hype. His recruitment, very weird. App State, Coastal Carolina, and Tennessee were the hats on the table. I know it's just two scrimmages, but you're talking about a kid that technically should still be in high school, and he's getting some buzz.
Yeah, and it's great to see. I mean, you think about this running back room. We've had a little trouble with the injury bug, right, over the last few years with Small and heck, really everybody. So it's nice to have that depth. And just like the quarterback position, would you like to shelf him, let him get another year under his belt? Sure. Would we like to, probably just roll like three deep, Small and and Dylan and why is the third one escaping me? But who I mean.
Jalen Wright.
There you go. Sorry, had a little bit of a brain cloud there for a second, but
you're good. I got you, Coach.
Yeah. And I forgot the kid who's going to be probably the first option as well, right? Jalen just tearing it up and getting better and better. So, I think you'd like to take him and you'd like to take Cam and develop them over a year. So it seems like we got a little bit lucky with these freshmen and how good they look early. I know we're really pushing to get some of these big 5-star running back recruits, and man, we certainly are swinging at a couple, and it's big if we get one. We need that. We need to fill that hole. We haven't quite landed that great white shark in the running back room yet. But if we can steal a couple like Dylan Sampson and like Cam and all these young kids, man, it just pushes the program that much further forward, that much quicker, and creates depth. And we're probably going to lose 2 of those kids after this year, certainly. So looks like we got the next 3 in the depth chart ready to pop up right away, and I'm pretty excited about that coming into 24, because it could be an area of concern otherwise coming into 24 if you're missing both of those guys in a year that's supposed to be the year, right? Hey, everyone's saying 24 is going to be our year. That could be a position of concern that year, but it's looking like we might be able to shut that loophole.
Jalen Wright's a junior. He's a junior, so he should be back for 24.
You never know.
Unless he goes out and balls out. I think he's going to be the leading rusher this year. I think whether Small's healthy or not, I think Wright's going to take over. I mean, he was the leading rusher last year.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you go to Twitter and you're tweeting out, you're teasing, with the eyeball emojis and everything and money bag symbols. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that was a pretty bold, smooth move. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he was telling the front office like, "Hey, I was your leading rusher last season. I want a higher NIL deal," and it worked. So, but here's my concern with him, though. I mean, he's done a really good job of cleaning it up towards the end of last season. It was him fumbling the football. Now, you can't be having a big NIL contract deal coming into this season and you're still having that same issue, because it's like, because then the front office is going to look at you like, well, we gave you this money and you out here still making the same mistakes. And I get it, I mean, we're all not perfect and stuff, but still, if you're the leading rusher and you were saying like, hey, I want my money, and you're out here making little minor mistakes, and especially you don't want to fumble the ball in like a kind of the game on the line, situation, then you're definitely going to be screwed. So, because I go back and think about the Alabama game, because like, what if he did not held on to that football towards the end of the Alabama game? Alabama would have been up by at least 2 or 3 scores, and it would have been over.
What's an interesting point, though, you bringing up the eyeball emojis and the NIL deal, and then Coach Jay talking about we may lose the top 2 backs after this year. Dauber, is Jalen Wright a guy that if he is the leading rusher, 1,000-yard season, if he's out there tweeting eyeball emojis and cash bags for NIL deals, he's heading to the NFL. There's an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a new landscape of college football. You're going to have guys jumping in the portal, testing the waters, seeing what they can get, where they can get it, or if they have a big season like Jalen Hyatt did. I mean, I mean, you can't have a problem with guys getting projected a first-round pick and going that route. I'm sorry, though, if you're, shopping schools, if you're going to transfer somewhere strictly for money, I don't know if I want you in my program anyway.
It worked.
That's
because it was the very next day is when Spire announced that NIL deal.
I know, and maybe it was just a ploy.
It's a bad look.
To me, it's a bad look. And I think that is one way that the NIL, unless the coaching staff has it under grasp and everything, you're telling all the guys, hey, you get out here and you ball out and it'll get taken care of. It'll work itself out. You're going to cause locker room cancer. You're going to cause division. Money will get jealousy and envy going, and that's stuff you don't want in the locker room. But we saw a little bit of that last year, allegedly. Stuff went down with NIL and this and that, and I guarantee you that had some to do with it. And you look at what it caused the whole team to go down to Columbia and play like complete garbage compared to how they played all season long.
And people come back and say, well, it wasn't about NIL. It was about the T. that's something minor that you got set off by because you've got this grudge against somebody, right? Because of NIL. NIL is the root of the problem. Stepping on the tee is what brought the cat out of the bag. Let me hit these couple of super chats real quick. Wade Rouse for 5. Thank you, Wade. Says, Dobber, it's nice talking to you over the weekend. Alan is a pretty cool guy.
That's what I was trying to say before I got all glitchy. I got a chance to talk to Wade over the weekend. Had a fellow that I work with, met him down in Middle Tennessee. He'd come up from Mississippi and was there. His brother works at a place to do some pig hunting, some hog hunting, and guy I work with was down there, and Wade was, showing off that tattoo, and they got to talking. They're like,
so
"Hey,
awesome.
I know this guy." So Alan gave me a call, and he was like, "Yeah, I had to prove that I knew you." And so I got to talk to Wade for 10 minutes or so, and it was good to put a voice with a name that we see on the screen. Potential chance to meet up down the road here at a game possibly. So it's cool. It's cool what this community and college football, for that matter, how it brings people together.
It's like Big Dog Brett, who I don't know if he's still in the chat or not. Like, there's some people that go about it the right way. There's nothing wrong with friendly rivalry, but there's also a line you can cross where you're an idiot at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for some good rivalry talk and trash talk. I got no problem with that. Some people are idiots, though. Volunteered 77 for 10. Thank you for super chat. Offense will be top 5, defense top 20. We make the playoffs with 1 loss, not to Georgia. Thank you, Volunteered 77 for the 10. Appreciate that super chat. Dude, man. If they lost 1 game, I would rather lose to Alabama and beat Georgia. I want that game so bad. In Neyland Stadium, that environment, it would rival the Alabama game last year. I mean, I really think it would.
Would it be a bigger win though, Boogie? Or would that kind of start cementing, and I'm not saying it's happening or is happening or isn't happening, but could it start cementing Saban slipping a little further down the line?
I don't know that it's bigger because we had this conversation. I don't remember if it was a live stream.
Yeah, it might have been.
Or might have been a Sunday night. I can't remember. We were talking about, do you storm the field if you beat Georgia? And most of us were in agreement and said, no, absolutely not. Whereas Alabama, I mean, that's your number 1 rival, 15 years of misery. That was such a huge win, man.
Well, I'll go ahead and say that to that, Coach. Now, if we go down to Tuscaloosa and we beat Bama in their house, yeah, that's the little crack in the little, Alabama dynasty there. That's saying like, yeah, it's time for old Nick Saban to kind of bounce out here. But I've been saying it for a while now. Even this, some people I talk to at work about it. And like I said, I love Nick Saban. He's the GOAT. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, he's one of the greatest college football coaches I've seen. But
probably the greatest.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, trust me, I have respect for that man 100,000%. But, I mean, it is what it is, because I think it's just his time just to bounce out of here. Because we always talk about it on here. He doesn't like NIL. He doesn't really care much about the portal. So, and that's the way that college football is going towards now, that, like I say, he can't stand it because it's an even playing field now. So now he just doesn't care for it. So I'd say if he doesn't get Alabama to the SEC championship or even another national championship, he's out of there. I mean, he's retiring.
I think the game, not necessarily the game, just what the game is now is passing him by. Like you said, Xavier, he doesn't want to deal with NIL. He doesn't want to deal with the portal. He wants to say, hey, I'm the GOAT. You're going to come here. We're going to win national championships, and that's it. I don't need to baby you, right? He's kind of almost like a hard ass. Like, you kind of respect him for it. It's like he's almost saying what every college coach probably wants to say. Like, do you think that these like Lane Kiffin? I don't remember what recruit it was where he's sitting in the freaking car and chauffeuring them around. Like, do you think Lane Kiffin wants to do that? But it's like it's the day and age we live in. That's what you got to do to get those kids on campus. So
the only college students he wants to chauffeur around are co-eds.
Allegedly. Look, we could go through the news and notes, but I think we're gonna screen share the Josh Heupel press conference and kind of go through it. Like I said, we got tons of stuff we can talk about tonight. If you guys want to continue to stay live, continue to talk, we can do that. I got all kinds of fun stuff to talk about. Kirby Smart, we can talk about him. If Big Dog Brett wants to talk about Kirby Smart, we can do that. We can also talk about the NCAA investigation, all kinds of fun stuff we can get into. But we're going to break down the Josh Heupel press conference. If you haven't done so yet, we got 200 people watching live on this, what is it, Thursday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Thursday night. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure you smash the thumbs up. Share the thing out, man. Put it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Call up your aunt or uncle. Let them know Talkin VAWLS is live. And then also make sure, if you've not watched the hype video that I dropped earlier this afternoon, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It'll give you chill bumps. It'll get you fired up. And tell somebody about it. Share it out there. We would appreciate it. My brother is in the house. What's up, Adam? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. Stopping by to say that's a stacked panel you got there. Adam hates sports, but he's a pro wrestler, the realest sport left in the world. All right, let's listen to Josh Heupel's press conference after scrimmage number 2.
Not surprising what Deshaun's done. I say that he's handled the transitioning into college football extremely well, but we thought he was extremely athletic. I thought he had great vision, pace as a running back coming out of high school. He's done a really good job of handling the communication system and not being too big for him since day one. Proud of what he's done.
Again, right out of the gate, Josh Heupel's not a guy that hands out compliments, Dauber, but right out of the gate, he's praising Deshaun Bishop. Maybe I continue to harp on this kid, but his recruitment was so weird. Like it seemed like he wanted to come to Tennessee, but he was not a take. That seemed to be the entire narrative. He was not a take. Tennessee was not going to take him. And they struck out here, there, and everywhere. And the fallback was number 25, the last guy that you're going to take in the class of 23. I'm just going to say it. Ratings, star rankings, they're not everything. He's the lowest graded player in the class of 23. But here we are 2 scrimmages in, and he gets mentioned twice by Josh Heupel.
But you look at what this staff has done with their evaluation of talent
100%.
and their development of talent. So, sometimes getting a kid in that has that drive and motivation will beat out a kid that has, all the God-given talent in the world and has been told they're great since they were playing Pee Wee football, but they don't have the effort and, they just feel like they're the best because they are, and they're not going to put the work in. So, it's good to see. That's the type of kid you want in this program. That's going to come and just put it down and grind it out and get it done.
Rolly season for 5. Thank you for super chat. Does the Georgia fan base's ego seem more inflated now, or is it where it needs to be? Can you imagine? I'm not defending Georgia fans because I hate every single one of them. But can you imagine if we won back-to-back national championships? Do you think anybody on God's green earth would be able to tolerate me? The videos that I would be making, the stuff that I would be saying, the comments that I would be randomly leaving, be absolutely amazing. I would be unbearable. So no, I don't. What do you guys think? I think they're right where they should be. I would be the most arrogant prick on the face of God's green earth with back-to-back natties.
Yeah, just bragging rights. I mean, look, they got bragging rights.
Yeah. No, you want to stop it, shut them up. It's that simple.
Yeah. There's nothing you can say to Georgia fans. That's the worst part about it. There's absolutely nothing you can say to them. Nothing. All right, let's hear more from Josh Heupel after scrimmage number 2.
About wide receiver, anything jump out to you with those guys?
No, I mean, there were some positives, some big plays. We had a couple drops in the middle of the football field that had an opportunity to be a big play too. That group's got to continue to grow in their understanding, operating efficiently. I think that's an area that group can continue to get better at. But they've been highly competitive, been physical, and done a really nice job elsewhere.
Defensively, pretty pleased with Saturday. Was it better in some ways, worse in some ways?
Yeah, I didn't think the tackling in the open field was as good and consistent as it was the other day. Gave up a couple of big runs. You got the gap integrity, and you got to tackle well There were times that it was really efficient, really good on the defense side of the ball. There were a couple of big plays that we gave up that you can't do.
So let's talk about that, Coach Jay. You know, we talk about the running backs kind of winning the day, offense winning the day. Dylan Sampson with a touchdown run, Deshaun Bishop with a touchdown run, Cam Seldon looks good. And then you hear Coach Heupel talk about it, and he talks about missed tackles and the defense struggling. Let's go back. Let's rewind to one of the things I said at the top of the show. Aaron Beasley and Keenan Peely, your two starting linebackers, set out today's scrimmage. So how much of that is that a factor with you're struggling to make tackles in space? You know, we talked about the Dylan Sampson touchdown run, untouched, 60-plus yard touchdown. How much of it is the defense not being up to full speed, I guess? Two guys out.
Yeah, I mean, it plays a part in it, right? You're missing personnel. It's going to take a toll always. But the other thing that kind of jumped out that he said was gap integrity. You know, when you get after it as a defensive front, and this defensive front, as Dauber was mentioning, has really, you know, seems to have taken some steps, and I'm sure was playing really, really fast and really, really aggressive. Gap integrity is all about playing really fast and playing aggressive, but not playing so fast and aggressive that you aren't minding your responsibilities. And when you don't maintain that gap integrity, that's when you get those big runs that bust, that no one touches anyone, right? It's what creates giant cutback lanes where, you know, you get one backside linebacker who was a little too aggressive themselves, then you're going to get a big run that's untouched. You're going to get a defensive line that's walking right into a combo block or that's in the wrong hole, and it's going to create those big open space plays. So I think it's just one of those valuable lessons that a defense needs reminded of, to always make sure you're doing your own job. Something that defensive coaches talk about all the time is trusting the guy next to you and trusting that he'll do his job, and not being too aggressive and trying to do the work of two people, right? So I think that can be kind of a pitfall of a second scrimmage after a defense has played well in the first one. So I think he was perhaps touching on that. At least that's the way I kind of took it.
Seth in the chat says, who played in this place? If it was Carter, you don't want to hear he's missing tackles. Somebody else said, Captain Andrew Crabtree, agree Beasley's solid. Want to see Elijah Herring get some reps too. I know Elijah Herring was out there. I would imagine that Aaron Carter was out there too. But you're talking about a freshman and a sophomore, right? So, and you talk about gap integrity. That's something that's correctable, right, for these young kids. A kid that's a freshman, even a sophomore in Elijah Herring, who is a kid that, again, made some plays last year. But, you know, it's good, man. Trial by fire. Get those guys. Like I said, it's not a problem that Aaron Beasley and Keenan Peely missed this scrimmage. That's not a problem. It's same as Cooper Mays. Cooper Mays missed the first and second scrimmage both. It's not a problem because Cooper Mays is a veteran. He is the anchor, the heartbeat of the offensive line. The only thing that does concern me, you know, you're seeing guys like Addison Nichols is the one that excites me. Parker Ball, he got some reps at center. Bison Lang got some reps at center. Addison Nichols is the one that I'm excited about. Let's develop him. Let's get him as much run as possible. But if the offensive line struggles without Cooper Mays, it's the SEC, Dauber. It's a physical league. If you can't stay healthy, you're going to have problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big one. And going back to what Coach T said after the first scrimmage, you know, talking about decision making from your quarterback. If you're getting pressure and that heat's coming quick, you've got to make quick decisions. But if you're standing back there and you got a nice clean pocket, you're getting protection, your offensive line's opening up holes for the running backs, you know, that makes the game a whole lot easier at that position. You know, you've got the possibility for you running back to rip off, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards a pop. Your throwing lanes are clean. It just makes it a lot easier to manage and coordinate the game at that position when your line's blocking well, regardless of who's in there. So that's the thing that they've got to find consistency with their protections, regardless of who's in there, because you got to have 5 up there. So whoever it's going to be, needs to be the best one. So
shout out to Mike Jones for becoming a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Hey, we're on a membership drive. Look, full transparency, we've lost almost 150 members since the football season ended. Just a slow spiral out of control. If you can do basic math, the lowest membership is $1 a month. That's $150 a month that is not feeding my family. So let's keep those memberships rolling in. We would greatly appreciate it. Shout out to Mike Jones for becoming a member. Going to try to do a fan call-in show next Wednesday. Got to let you guys come on. And I really want to focus on what you guys are looking for in the orange and white game, what you want to see, because it's going to be the Wednesday before that last spring scrimmage. But there is a link pinned at the top of the live chat. There's a link in the description, or you can hit the join button down below and become a member for as little as 99 cents a month. That is it. 99 cents a month, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. Custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. You get a power T beside your name, access to fan call-in shows. I try to highlight the member chats while we're live. That's something I try to do as well. And look, this is a 4-man panel right now. One of these dudes I've known since I was about 5 years old. The other two I met via the fan call-in show. Coach Jay, fan call-in show, one over the chat. He is a big part of this channel now. We're doing film breakdowns, live streams, all kinds of fun stuff. X Factor is my wingman. Anytime last week, he's like, hey, bro, you going live? You need a wingman? I'll jump on. He's ready to go at any time because he became a member of the channel and jumped on the fan call-in show. I can't say it enough. If you want to be on the show, fan call-in show is the way to do it. Hit the join button, become a member. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel after scrimmage number 2.
All in all, I thought they operated really well. We put them in some situations, game management, 4-minute situation at the end of the game. There's a lot of things that we can learn in that. We've hit that the first 2 scrimmages. Excuse me. I think there's some things that we can get better at in that. But, taking care of the football, being smart decision makers, handling communication, handling the pace, everybody's done a really nice job.
How much do you feel Nico's offense?
I continue to grow. He's a long ways away from being where we need him to. But that's understandable. Where he's at this part in spring ball, really happy with what he's done, his work ethic, attention to detail, ability to rebound, and how intentional he is in the way that he works. He's continued to get better every time that he gets on the field, which is what you want to see out of young guys.
Let's talk about Nico Iamaleava and Joe Milton, because it was just me and JP on after the first scrimmage. Of course, we had Coach T, high school football coach, was inside the stadium. He's the one that kind of sparked all this stuff. And what's funny is I've seen some articles being written that I'm 99.99999% sure they came from our live stream. The way it was worded, the way things were said, I'm almost certain that those articles came from our live stream, just because a high school coach in Tennessee attended the scrimmage and said that Nico was the guy and Joe Milton struggled. Coach talking about right there that Nico still got a long way to go, but he's right where you want him to be as a freshman. X Factor, I don't know if you watched the video I put out. I know you watched the live stream with me and JP. I don't know if you watched the video I put out. A lot of people seem lost on this. I'm not saying it's time to bench Joe Milton. What I'm saying is, and you've gone on record of saying, hey, if it's the Florida game and Joe's not succeeding, let's roll with Nico. And how long's the leash, man? How long until you're frustrated? Because we've seen it before. We've seen it with Joe. We've seen it with Hendon. Everybody wanted Harrison Bailey. How long until the Boo Birds are out and they want Nico in the football game? How long is that leash for you? For you, X Factor. When do you turn on Joe Milton?
Well, and Boogie, like I said, us as a fan base, as a Tennessee fan base, and listen, you know how passionate we are with our football. But for the fans' sake, I'm going to go ahead and say that they're going to put a pretty short leash on Joe Milton. And it's like what you just said and what I've said in the previous shows. I'd say probably the Florida game. If we're not seeing Joe Milton leading us to success in that game, or even if we lose that game, and I have to be honest with myself, I'm looking at that as like, yeah, I'm getting a little worried. I'm getting pretty worried because, and you know me, Boogie, I came on here to say it. You know how, your hatred for Georgia is great, just as my hatred for Florida is greater. Like I said, and I know it's a whole generation thing. It's a generation rivalry and stuff. But, yeah, I just can't stand the Florida fan base. And it's like what I said. I'm giving Joe 4 games. Like I said, he impressed me, this past season, the Vanderbilt game. He impressed me with that, even though they want to blame it on the weather, which is debatable. Second game, Orange Bowl. Like I said, now that's what won me over, and it made me feel confident going into the season. Like, okay, this is the Joe we're gonna roll with, possibly going into this coming season. So now I'm gonna give you 3 games, bro. And I'm sorry, but if you're not progressing well in the Florida game when we go down to Gainesville, because you already said it too, it's hard to play on the road in the SEC. It doesn't matter where you play at; it's always hard. And you want to beat Florida while they're down right now. Like, this is just the perfect opportunity for us to beat Florida while they're just down and out in recruiting and all this stuff going on. But yeah, for me, like I said, it has to be the Florida game. If I'm not seeing any progress with Joe, it's like, all right, I think it's Nico time. But then again too, like I said, I have faith in the kid. I'm really, really, really rooting for the kid, man, because like you go back and look at Joe's, his interviews and stuff. He's a really good kid, man, and he seems like a real good, humble leader from when he learned from Hendon Hooker, sitting behind him last season. So I'm really hoping that Joe can stick it out, man. I really am, because yeah, I don't. Yes, it'll be fun to see Nico coming into this coming season, but we're just not ready for him yet. And that's just, it is what it is. Well, I mean, we know he's got the talent, and I would feel confident if he does trot onto the field, but I'm still rooting for Joe, so I'm on the Joe train. So, but yeah, I'm gonna give him until the Florida game, and then if I don't see nothing, it's on the bench, man. I'm sorry.
So let me throw a two-part question at Dauber. Two-part question. Xavier talked about the Orange Bowl, and this is something that kind of I saw in myself. It's like, all right, Orange Bowl. Joe looked good. Joe looked solid. His numbers were solid. Vanderbilt game, he was efficient, not great, but we kind of gave him an excuse. It's kind of the it was raining, and then the Orange Bowl game looks good. And we as fans are having the debate ever since that Orange Bowl. Which Joe Milton we getting? We gonna get 2021 Joe, or are we getting Orange Bowl Joe? How much of that's battered Vol syndrome, where it's like, well, I just expect the worst. I don't expect quarterback development. I don't expect Joe to get better. It's just battered Vol syndrome of course, we're getting 2021 Joe. Hendon Hooker's gone. We're going to suck. Oh, no, woe is me. We suck again. And then two-part question, Dauber. Florida, that's the timeline X Factor's throwing out there. Halftime. Joe's throwing 2 interceptions. Do you really want to give Nico his first in-game action on the road, in the swamp, and ruin his career a la Jarrett Garantano? All right, two-part question. Take it away.
No, I mean, we've talked about it. Joe Milton has all the talent in the world, all the athletic ability. His arm strength is ridiculous. Those outs to the long side of the field. I want to see more screen passes, more slants. I think that's right in his wheelhouse. But I think it's tough to look at the Vandy game as because he was just thrust into action after Hooker went down. But let's pump the brakes a little bit. You're talking about Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton, who both lost starting roles at other schools and transferred in. So, Hooker had to he didn't win the starting job over Milton to begin with. And he was there prior to Milton. But he developed. So I think the way the schedule sets up, the first 6 games, I think are a good. You're going to know what you've got. You've got a 5th-year senior that's been in the program. This will be his 3rd spring camp, or no? He didn't play.
Came in in the summer.
So 2nd spring camp. I mean, he knows the system, and I think the system is going to be more geared towards him this year. It was set up for Hooker last year, because the way Hooker played in 2021, coming off of the way he closed that season, I really think the offense is going to be catered to his skill set, and they're going to set him up for success. You know, that's I don't have a doubt that this Josh Heupel offensive scheme is going to be something that is set up for Joe Milton to have success. Now, if he does go in and you know, lay a couple eggs, you know, if the Florida game looks rough, you know, I don't think you just yank him, because
I think we're going to see the writing on the wall. Virginia, you're going to be a huge favorite. Austin P, you're going to be a huge favorite. If it looks like the Bowling Green game and you got kids running free down the field and Joe can't connect, we're all going to freak out and say it's time for Nico.
But that's battered ball syndrome.
It is.
You know, you look at there were games when Hendon Hooker overthrew balls.
Yep. But we don't freak out about Hendon Hooker.
Right. It's the narrative that has been written because of a couple of games. I mean, but before Milton got hurt, he had a couple of games with a couple of throws. And that's the end of the story.
BDB Sports says Milton needs to strengthen his arm. Coach Jay, you laugh when I put out these videos. You say stirring the pot? You think I'm stirring the pot? Coach Jay, is that what you think I'm doing?
And maybe a little tongue in cheek, but no, I think you have no doubt in your mind, Boogie, that Joe is going to be the starter, and I think pretty much every Volunteer fan would agree with you. I mean, Joe's the starter going into the season just for so many reasons. And hey, I think even Nico has alluded to this, right, during a press conference, and is okay with this. It doesn't mean he can't compete and he can't be ready at all times. And I think Nico will take that very seriously. I've said it several times on this channel. He's a good kid. He was raised right, extremely competitive kid, works really hard, comes from a amazing high school system under Coach P over there at Warren, developed under that good Danny Hernandez style offense, for those who are in the know out here in SoCal. And hey, man, he's going to work hard and be ready. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if he was called upon, if he excelled at a extremely high level. I think I was talking about it with Wayne in a comment section of some video last night that Nico's probably the second best quarterback I've seen with my own two eyes in CIF and California football. And that's impressive. The other people in that top five have national championships and Heisman trophies and played on Sundays. So that's pretty darn impressive. So I have a lot of faith in Nico. I don't think Joe Milton's running into some kind of remember the Titans Coach Boone situation where, they've set him up to fail and lose one game and you're out of here type thing. But I also do think that it matters how those games go, right? Is there no clicking going on in Virginia? Are you scoring because you're much better than them, but you're not smooth and it doesn't look like a Josh Heupel offense? Then you're going to be really concerned.
Crisp.
Crisp, right? Yeah, CIF is definitely big league high school football. Absolutely, Wayne, especially at the high level out here.
But it's like the Bowling Green game, right? Like when Joe first started. It's like Tennessee won that game with ease, but coming out of it, there was some concern.
Correct. Yeah, no, there was some concern. So I think, I think that has a lot to do with it, right? If there's no continuity and you walk into Florida and all of a sudden you're down 24 at half, yeah, you might see a shakeup, especially if Nico pressed throughout the summer. But hey, I do think a little bit of that worry comes from a little bit of battered ball syndrome to a degree. I think, we've thought we were back a couple times when we were really back, right? So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be an interesting dynamic. It's one more little tiny P of pressure to put on top of the giant stack of issues that comes with playing quarterback in the Southeastern Conference. But Joe's going to have to deal with that, right? The SEC's big boy football, and he's going to have to go out there and overcome it. But I thought he did a great job of it against Clemson. I know they were down a defender or two, but Hey, even down that defender too. I think no one would argue with the fact that Clemson was a top 8 defense in the country last year. It took Joe a little while to settle into that game, right? Had a couple batted balls, a couple miscues early, but once he settled in, he looked great, man. I mean, he was throwing some dimes in that game. Brew in the back of the end zone, and just several deep balls, and as crisp as Squirrel White's looked in spring. It's hard to imagine him and Joe not linking up quite a bit in this coming up season. So I have a lot of confidence in Joe. I've got a ton of confidence in Nico, and I feel really great about the Vol quarterback room. So I think I'm going to try to take a battered Vol syndrome Xanax or something and chill out for a little bit.
Well, and the other batter ball syndrome that I think that we all have too is going into next season is how's this offensive line going to hold up? Can this offensive line be healthy enough to, keep those linebackers off of Joe, and those edge rushers off of Joe to make the throws that he needs to make? Because if there's a little bit of concern there too, then we're going to be having some worries there because they were even talking about it, in the first scrimmage, or actually Austin AP was talking about it, Austin Price, because like I said, he said, who is the best quarterback to escape out of the pocket? He said, obviously, I'm going with Hendon Hooker versus the Joe Milton. But even though Joe is big and physical, he can just, you can just have a quarterback design run for him, and then he can just take off. Versus Hendon Hooker, where he's so elusive and he's fast that he can escape the pocket.
Slipperier.
Yeah.
He's slipperier. But that straight line speed, it's funny because I went back and watched a bunch of the beginning of that 21 season. Man, there's a couple runs, like even in the Pitt game where Joe just takes off for like 80 yards. Man, he shoots out like a shot. But, once again, it is, as much as I feel great about our quarterback room, there's Joe and then there's a freshman and then what? So do you dial back that play calling? And Dauber, I know you've talked about this a little bit. How much danger do they want to put Joe Milton in running the football this season, Dauber?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a lot, but I think you're going to keep defenses honest with the quarterback power, because it plays to his suit. And sometimes it does take guys like that getting popped once or twice in a game before they get rolling. It is one of those things, man. Did I miss something?
No, he said
a comment.
Somebody in the chat said Coach Jay just say slippery,
and slippyest.
Hey, did any of you guys see? I can't for the life of me remember where I saw it, but I want to say it was a quote from Dylan Sampson this week talking about leadership on the team, and going back to last season's team. And he was talking about, everybody thinks Hendon Hooker was the quarterback. He was the only leader on the team. But he was saying Joe Milton was right up there.
I did see that. Yep.
Alongside, and that's something big too. When you've got guys in the locker room that are publicly acknowledging you as a leader of the team, you've got them behind your back. So I think that is something that is going to help kind of, ease the nerves a little bit and let him get settled in to being the man, because. It's like I said. Coach Jay said it. It's SEC football. It's big time football, and all these guys have the talent. Do they have the decision making skills, the mental edge to be successful? Because that's what it takes.
It's everything comes full circle. Xavier's talking about Butch Jones, and it's like, and talking about Hendon being able to escape the pocket. It's the battered, maybe because it's April, because you go back to in the middle of the season last year, and I'm on here preaching that Josh Heupel is the cure to battered ball syndrome. And now it's April, and I'm going, oh my gosh, is Hendon Hooker to Josh Heupel like Josh Dobbs to Butch Jones? Like that's the comparisons I was making when I put that video out. I'm like, stop it. Stop. Like, I am Joe's biggest fan. And I'm like, I'm so freaking, it's just like, dang it.
How do you connect those dots, Boogie?
Easily. Enter Butch
Yeah.
Jones. His team sucked. Here comes, Josh Dobbs gives Butch Jones 2 9-win seasons. Here comes Josh Heupel. Nobody's at the quarterback position. Enter Hendon Hooker. We go win 11 freaking games. Everybody thinks we're back. We're winning national championships. And now guess who's gone? Hendon Hooker. But Josh Heupel's offense is proven. It worked at Missouri when he was the coordinator. It worked at Central Florida. I believe in Josh Heupel, and I believe that if he feels the right decision for this football team is to bench Joe and play Nico, he's going to do it. I have all the confidence.
You mean Josh Heupel's gimmicky offense?
God, don't get me started on that. That was going to be the conversation starting at the hour mark, but we're at the hour mark, and we're about 2 minutes into Josh Heupel's press conference. So let's jump back into it here. I told you guys, maybe a long one. If you want bonus content, you want us to stay live, keep dropping this content. I'll just shill. I'll just shill. I got to pay the mortgage. You know what? Let me tell you something. It is stupid. I bought a brand new AC unit a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago. In the 40s, you bought an AC unit that lasted a lifetime. It's been 18 months, and the thing went out. We had a full warranty on it, and I still paid $300 to fix it. Full warranty, somehow Boogie's out $300. So rally the troops and stuff. Get those super chats coming in, those entry fees. We'll stay live all night. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel. I'm just joking. Have a good time. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel.
What Cam Sones? Yeah, I just thought today, the last couple of practices have been really solid from him. He's ran with good pad level. He's got his transitioning from playing a lot out in space to being at the running back position, really full time. He's continuing to grow in his understanding how to press the line of scrimmage and understand how things are going to be blocked versus different fronts. He took good care of the football today. He got pad under pad. He finished +2. A lot of positives.
What can you see differently from a scrimmage in here that you can't see in just a normal practice?
Wayne's like, Boogie, you're staying live all night long. Wayne with a 50 spot. Wayne, you usually save these things for Sunday night, but we'll let you do it. We'll let you do it on a Thursday night. $50 ain't cheap. If you drop a 50 spot, we got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Wayne, I'm never mad at you over your comments at Georgia fans. You can say anything you please on this channel, whatever you please. Wayne for 50 says you're upset at me over my comments to Georgia fans. Not the truth, Wayne. Not the truth. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. You're very generous, my man. Very generous. Thank you for the $50. We got. Should I put Wayne on the leaderboard? I mean, he tied. Let's put Bleed Orange and Wayne Starnes. Little tink for all you Sunday night fans. We'll put a little tink on there.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you're here on Sunday nights, you got nothing better to do with your life. We love Sunday nights. We have a good time. Thank you, Wayne. You're very generous, buddy. I appreciate that. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel.
Yeah, I think coaches being off on the sidelines, the players being able to solve problems while they're out there. They have to do that on their own. They got to handle, being able to reload from one play to the next, handling game situations as you continue to drive the football. It's as real as it's going to be up until we get to kick off in Nashville next September.
Where do you feel like you are at offensive tackle? You got some experience.
Did you guys hear the comments from Hugh Freeze where he said that he mentioned maybe these colleges need to be playing other schools, and instead of good on good, you play maybe Tennessee and maybe Tennessee and Memphis. You play your spring game against each other, and then you donate the revenue to charity. What do you think about that?
Sounds like a good way to lose good players to me.
That's what I thought too. But then at the same time, I was like, but is anybody really that was out there scrimmaging today not going full steam? Like, they're all competing for a job, right?
Yeah. I would say, like I said, it's great for charity because that's one. Two, it's bad because, like Coach said, you're gonna have some injury. That's gonna injure your team because you don't know if they're going like full steam or not. And then just three, I don't know. I guess it could help with recruiting. I guess.
I mean, if Freeze wants to do that, why don't we go back to having like a JV team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my only point. Go ahead, Dominic. Yeah.
I was just gonna say the spring is for getting your not just your number ones ready to go, but the guys that are backing them up and getting your young guys up to the speed of college football and reps against guys that have been playing college football.
So no matter what, your team's on the field all day long.
Yeah, I mean it's. I don't agree with it. I don't disagree with it, but
Right.
I
It's
mean,
a 50-50,
I think
yeah.
I think you go and you scrimmage another team. You're going to be trying to win, and it's going to limit the opportunity for your other guys to get meaningful reps.
Yeah, I agree. And with the, Boogie alluded to it recently. I don't remember what video it was in, but these kids' commitments are moving up and up and up to where they used to be done, and you're gonna want those kids at that spring game. You're gonna want to win that spring game and look good because they're committing earlier now. So now all of a sudden you're gonna lose Cooper Mays because you want to look good for insert player. That's what I worry about. I agree with what you guys are saying. I think it's about getting your 2s and 3s work and cleaning things up a little and installing and seeing where you're at. And I'm okay with that. And I think Hugh Freeze alluded to high school scrimmaging people in the spring. I've never seen that out in California. You guys have to fill me in if that's something that goes on down yonder way.
I think we did. I think we scrimmaged occasionally, would scrimmage other teams.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
We had a jamboree with a couple schools to kind of close camp.
Yeah. I mean, passing league's huge out here, so they do that. But as far as
You're also talking about a different
bullets.
game now compared to when we were all in high school.
Yeah,
true.
There was no 7 on 7 when we were in high school.
We had 7-on-7 out here.
Wow, did you? We did not. That was not a thing.
Yeah,
no.
It had kind of just really kicked up. I feel like in '95 out here where that started to become a thing.
There's a lot of these kids that
moves here.
Yeah, there's a lot of these kids that are playing year round now, in those 7-on-7 leagues, and those what are they called, like skill games, where it's basically just quarterback and your receivers going against kind of secondary linebacker type.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Hugh Freeze. Yeah, interesting cat. We'll see how he does.
Let's hear more from Josh Heupel. We got 166 people watching live. We're gonna wrap up this interview unless you guys want more. I feel like the longer we go, the chat bleeds out. They're like, all right, we're out. Checking out. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel after scrimmage number 2.
Hey, Coach Hart, big fan. Yeah.
What?
Only in East Tennessee. Let's hear that again.
Hey, Coach Hart, big fan. Yeah. Great competition up front, and guys that are continuing to compete.
Which one of you in the chat was that? Which one of you psychopaths in the chat was that? The thing is, it was closed to everybody.
That sounded like a player. That sounded like a player.
Must have been. It had to be a joke.
Yeah.
Because nobody was allowed in.
Yeah, that or like an ex-player or something, right? Like Kyle Kerbison or something back there yelling at someone or something.
Yeah, because nobody was like, somebody asked me, hey, you got anybody on the inside? You got anybody on the inside tonight? I'm like, no. Culberson, who's still in the chat, right there's Culberson. He's like, you got anybody in the stadium? No, nobody was in the stadium.
So I saw something the other day in one of the practices that was open to the media. They were working on some goal line sets and stuff. Did you guys see this? And I think
new formation.
The formations, and Heupel saw some of the media guys videotaping it and gave them the, hey, not this.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things. I think, like I said, Heupel is building this offense and going to be catering to Joe Milton, to his strengths, and setting this scheme up for him to succeed. Therefore, the team succeeds.
Wayne for another $20. Wayne is dropping Sunday money. Wayne, what are you dropping Sunday money on a Thursday for? We appreciate it. He says for the Heupel surprise. I think it was Wayne. Must have been Wayne that was yelling at Coach Heupel. Thank you, Wayne. You're being very generous tonight, buddy. We appreciate it. Let's are people getting muted in the chat? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. What is going on? All right, let's hear more.
Deeper in that room, so much deeper than we were when we first got here in last year too. So there's really good.
Later, Wayne. Have a good night, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. See you Sunday night. Easter Sunday, right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network.
A little bit different skill set, but at the end of the day, I feel like all of them can be really efficient and effective in the run game, and have done a nice job in pass protection throughout the course of spring ball.
Sounds like there was a whole lot of work done at the line of scrimmage today about the run game and those sort of things. Was there more emphasis within the box today?
Heavy emphasis of being able to be efficient with the run game. Some of the situational football dictates that you want to be able to run the football. Talking about the 4-minute situation at the end. All in all, for us, we want to maintain balance in what we do. On the line of scrimmage is extremely important. You got to dominate that on both sides of the line of scrimmage, defensively and offensively.
Should those running backs, you mentioned those younger running backs, think that they have a chance in the fall when Jabari is back and Jalen is healthy to get in the rotation, or are they?
We're going to need them all. There's times where you stay really healthy for a really long period of time. You never know when your opportunity is going to come. We're going to need all of these guys throughout the course of the season. Competition, iron sharpens iron. We're going to need that. Absolutely. Everybody on this roster better believe they got an opportunity to play next fall and continue to sharpen their skills. And, that's fundamentals. It's technique. It's understanding what we do, offensively, defense, special teams. It's being able to be a mature competitor and handle everything that comes at you.
I love that comment right there, Coach Jay. But how much of that is coach speak versus how much of it is truly who Josh Heupel is? Iron sharpens iron. We all know that. But for him to say everybody on this roster, you better believe you got an opportunity to play this fall.
Yeah, I think it's important. We'll hit that buzzword again, culture,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's super important. But listen, in the spring, he's 100% right. Those 4s, those 3s, those 2s, those guys are fighting. And the second you get a 1 that goes down, well, then all of a sudden the 4 is the 3 and they're in the 3 deep, right? So if you don't believe that you can play, then the transfer portal's open, guys. Go ahead and enter it and get the heck out of here. Because if you don't think you can play, then you need to go transfer out of Tennessee. We're going to continue to evaluate at a high level right now. We're going to continue to recruit at a high level. And if you don't think you can hack it here, then you need to get out, and you better think you can hack it at a really, really high SEC level, or you're going to get ran over. It's that simple. And I think they've kind of shown that. I think there's been players that were on this roster that this coaching staff has been honest with, and they're no longer here.
And see,
and it's that simple.
And see, and real quick, coach, I say that's why, to me personally, that's why I just don't understand why most recruits want to go to Alabama or want to go to Georgia. Because, yes, you see the dynasty, you see, the national championships, the SEC championships and all that. But if you really want to see the field and you want to play, and we all know these kids' goal is to get to the league. Yeah, me personally, I would want to, transfer to like Tennessee or be like a Vanderbilt, Kentucky, or somewhere to where I can develop my skills, to where I can see the field and eventually get some playing time. That's why Alabama and Georgia is just loaded with just a bunch of talent. But if you think about it, most of those kids are not really going to see the field as much.
Yeah, it makes it tough with the portal in 2023, the way college football is. But you also sometimes you find that rare breed of kid like a Jake Merklinger who's willing to commit and come to Tennessee knowing that Nico's getting paid $8 million. Like, right. Nico's the guy. And Jake Merklinger's like, I don't care. I'm going to come compete. I'm going to whether he waits it out, but it's also, it makes it tough. I don't know how Georgia and Alabama do it, Xavier. I really don't. I don't know how
I don't either.
You stack 5-star after 5-star after 5-star and they stick it out and wait for their turn It's why we see a kid like Taven Jackson transfer out, because he's not going to wait his turn. He sees Nico's coming in behind him. I ain't got a shot. I'm out. I'm bouncing. I'm going to go somewhere where I can play. And like you said, I'd kind of do the same thing. Like, do you want to put a ring on your finger, or do you want to go have an opportunity to play? Whether you're playing at App State or Vanderbilt or Tennessee or Alabama. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't going somewhere where I'm going to sit. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick from the same dude. Augusta, Georgia, Vol, Evan counts for 5. I'm headed to Washington Road for Masters festivities. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, Evan, for that. And then he drops a 50 spot. A 50 spot. That ain't cheap. We'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Appreciate that, Evan. Georgia money to Boogie's retirement fund. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that, Evan. You're the man. Evan said he's not been getting notifications lately. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. So I told him to follow us. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter. I'll put the social media tags across the bottom. You can see the Talkin VAWLS account, myself, Dauber, JP's down there. You can see Coach J, the X Factor. We're all down there. Give us a follow. I suck at Twitter, but I think I'm pretty damn good at YouTube. That's just one man's humble opinion. Look, I'm just one humble man, but I think I'm pretty damn good at YouTube. But look, if you don't get notifications from YouTube for whatever reason, man, it was weird. Like a week or two ago, like I would look at YouTube on my phone and it didn't even show we were live. So weird. But if you're following us on all social media, I will tweet out when we're going live, when a video comes out, all that good stuff. So go give us all a follow down there on the bottom. Let's jump back into it. Got a couple of more minutes here from Coach Heupel talking about scrimmage number 2. Let's hear some more from Coach.
Yeah, I see a lot more from those guys. Is you get a chance to sit in and evaluate the tape. Are their eyes on the right keys? Are they playing over the top? Are they being able to be disruptive and disrupt blocks? I really like that group as a whole. They're smart. They're competitive. They're great teammates. And they've been nothing but extremely intentional in the way that they've worked every practice out on the grass. They're athletic. They got great ability to move. Should be able to help us on teams. I'll see, how they played today when we get a chance to watch. Walk in and watch the tape.
Did you get more of a look at Dante for today?
Did not get a ton of work with Dante. Got some yesterday out on the practice field. He's got a lot of skill sets that we're looking for, and back half of spring ball continuing to develop them.
What role or responsibility does Joe have in understanding the run game? Not him running, but understanding how to run the offense of the run game.
Buckle up, boys. We're about to have some fun. Buckle up. Take a listen. I may end it after this comment. I may end the Heupel stream and have some fun. Let's have some fun. You guys want to have some fun? There's 158 people in the chat. Do you guys want to have some fun? If you want to have some fun, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, if you want to go to bed, we'll wrap it up. Put a 2 in the chat. Let's hear this comment, and then we're changing gears. And Boogie's going to wrap this stream up with some good fun, because that's what I like to do, is have fun around here. Let's hear what Josh Heupel has to say when asked about his quarterback and what he has to do in his offense. Let's take a listen.
Our guys control everything. I don't think there's anybody in America that puts more on their quarterbacks. Run checks, run pass checks, load boxes, alerts, kills. They got to do it all. And so he's highly instrumental in the efficiency and effectiveness of our run game.
He's progressing in that, then, you think, in the spring?
Yeah, I think he's got really good command of what we're doing. At the line of scrimmage, out on the perimeter, his eyes being in the right place to identify his keys and take him to the next progression. That's in the run game, that's in the pass game too.
He said, I don't think anybody in the country puts more on their quarterbacks. Anybody in the country. I want to have some fun. I don't know if you guys watched the video. I think mostly Georgia fans watched the video. It was after a scrimmage. Kirby Smart met with the media. And look, I get it. He's talking about his football team. He's talking about his quarterbacks threw 3 interceptions that day. I get it. But is Josh Heupel firing back? Is he firing back at Kirby Smart? If you did watch the video, I'm excited to talk about this with the 3 of you guys and see what you think. Let's hear what Kirby Smart said after his scrimmage and his quarterbacks threw 3 interceptions. Remember, this took place before Josh Heupel's press conference just now. Let's take a listen.
Meaner communication. Like I can get that, but it's like true quarterback is
A true quarterback, he said.
decision in our system, because some systems take all the pressure off the quarterback and they just go really fast.
Wait,
It's
what?
like true quarterback is a decision maker in our system, because some systems take all the pressure off the quarterback and they just go really fast.
Wait, what?
Our system, some systems take all the pressure off the quarterback and they just go really fast. We don't do.
Wait, I'm going to play that one more time. If you're not listening in the back, tune in and pay attention. What did he say?
Our system, because
Our
some systems
system.
take all the pressure off the quarterback and they just go really fast. We don't do that. We're a quarterback-driven offense. So can you process the information? That means get the signal, get people lined up, then see what the defense is in, and figure out, are we in the right situation? Which of these three choices Coach Bobo's given me am I going to utilize on this play? And then the play happens, and there might be a mistake or a breakdown, and you not go full metal jacket and have catastrophe mode and put us in a bad situation. So,
did you guys know that Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton didn't have to do that? They didn't have to do any of those things.
Had no clue. Had no clue.
First and foremost, I got called every name in the book for the video I put out on this. But Coach Shea, who's he talking about? Like, who's he talking about?
Well, it's pretty obvious who he's talking about, right? He's talking about Tennessee. But hey, listen, Kirby is a defensive genius, and what he's built on defense is really impressive. But it's like, tell me you don't know crap about offense without telling me you don't know crap about offense, right? It's crazy to me. It's stupid. It's like Hype said, you're doing all those things he said, except in Hype's offense, you're kind of even taking it to the next level, right? A lot of our wide receiver patterns are based on route trees that are in play reads against coverage and against defense, and it's highly complex. And when you confuse that live read on a safety, on a quarterback, cornerback, on a linebacker, it becomes extremely difficult. And when you get to the line of scrimmage, you guys have seen it with Tennessee already, where a lot of times we'll want to go fast, but then you'll see us all of a sudden slow down. And sometimes fans on the sideline or on the audience will be like, why did we slow down all of a sudden? Well, it's because we needed to go fast, but there was something wrong. So it was time to slow down and read that. So I think it was more about firing the shot. I'd like to believe that Kirby's not that dumb. I really would. I think it was more about just it was just about firing a shot, in my opinion, because like I said, I really don't believe Kirby's ignorant to that fact and the complexity of it. It's just a little bit silly to me. So I had a good laugh about that.
It's funny to me the way the internet works. He never said Tennessee's name. He never said Josh Heupel. Yeah, no kidding. We all know who he's talking about. Every single one of us.
I mean, who also had, oh, go ahead, Aubrey. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, let me throw this to you, all of you guys, Coach Shea in particular. My understanding of Josh Heupel's offense, it's not necessarily, it's not about tempo. It's not about speed. It's that in combination with spreading the field and making those lanes and setting up mismatches within the defense.
Correct.
So it is about reading it, coming to the line and seeing what you've got, and it's about the coaching staff setting something up for a play, two plays, next half. It's seeing those patterns in the defensive play calling and exploiting mismatches. And the tempo is used to keep certain defensive alignments or defensive packages on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%. It's about those mismatches. It's about identifying where that mismatch is. And hey, look, it's still hard, but anyone can drop back and throw to a spot on the field, right, and hit a post. But can you get everything quick, read the defense, see if that post is even an option, read a safety, and then based on that safety, know what the correct read was for the receiver to run a route tree off of it. So if it could have been a post, but now because of coverage, all of a sudden it's a seam or a corner or a whip route. Knowing that, having that trust, and then making that read, making that play. And oh, by the way, why you have a 6'5", 330-pound guy trying to murder you at the same time is extremely complex, and it's something I don't think a lot of fans or even old Coach Jay sitting over here understand it, that level of football, how smart you have to be.
It's a lot more complex than just going fast.
Well, I mean, for the fact for us to be last season the #1 fast offense, in the country. I mean, come on, Kirby, you're obviously taking little jabs at us, man. Like, come on, you ain't trying to be slick, none of that. But also, too, I want to say too. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like everything we said, what a quarterback does. I mean, yeah, you have to, you have to read your defense. You have to read what's going on in the field. You know what I'm saying? Make the right choices and stuff. I mean, he is right about all that. But yeah, when it comes to us though, and as far as like quarterback development, look, we already got Hendon Hooker in the combine right now, getting big buzz for us. And if you guys haven't kind of really noticed too, because like what Boogie played in that clip, Hendon Hooker kind of did a little recruiting right there too. He kind of pulled a little Josh Heupel. He was just saying, he said, yeah, he said, we're Tennessee. We play with a chip on our shoulder. So Hendon Hooker's doing a little, recruiting in the combine. So, and then, he's still, going through rehab. He's recovering. But I guaranteed you that if he was healthy, then he would either be a #1 or #2 spot in the draft. But then also, too, so, I mean, you got, Josh Dobbs, you got Hendon Hooker, and pretty soon, and we're all praying for his success, but pretty soon Joe Milton are all going to be talked about going into the NFL. And the only thing I have to say about some Georgia fans is what's Stetson Bennett doing?
Yeah. And not only that, if Josh Heupel called up Kirby Smart and was like, hey, I want to be your offensive coordinator next year, you don't think Kirby Smart would hire him?
Yeah.
Right.
Come on,
Well,
Georgia fans, answer that.
If the four of us are given a math problem, right, and we all solve it, and we all take a different route to get to it, doesn't matter. Success is success, but it's like, Josh, you're doing it at a rapid pace. Like Joe Milton's still having to read the defense, and he's having to do all the checks and the keys, and he's doing it with limited time. Like, it's just stupid. Like, I don't know, man. It's like I get it, Georgia fans. I know they're stupid, but I didn't think they were that stupid that they didn't realize that he was talking about Josh Heupel. Oh, he could be talking about anybody. He could be talking about ETSU's offense. Come on.
I just said, look, it's come on, guys. Let's do a pop quiz here. Who was the #1 fastest offense last season in college football?
Something real quick, Xavier. I'm going to play this clip, and then after the clip plays, I want you to regurgitate it. But I want you to do it with passion and with energy and with anger in your heart. But I want you to change it from Georgia to Florida. Do you think you could do that for me? Here's your lines, and then I want you to repeat. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that there's any good, Florida fans out there. Yeah, I just don't believe that there's any good Florida fans out there. Hey, trust me, there are none. 100%.
All right, that's yeah. You didn't have enough paranoia on your face. Hey, we're gonna wrap the show up. We're almost an hour and a half into it. We talked a little bit about spring. We talked a little bit about Josh Heupel. We talked a little bit about Kirby Smart. Got tons of fun content coming your way. Again, I'm going to be live on Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. We're still going to go live at 6:30. We're going to play NCAA football. We're going to have a good time. Don't forget the orange and white game coming up, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, the 15th. We're going to be there 11 a.m. G10 parking garage. Come hang out. It's going to be a blast. All the cast and crew is going to be there. I can't wait to see not only, you guys get to interact with us, but each other. It's going to be an absolute blast. The Monday after the orange and white game, myself and Big Vol Daddy going to be doing a live stream. Hey, look, I was texting him yesterday. We were talking about a Monday morning stream, and finally he was like, Boogie, let's just do it. Every Monday when the season starts. Boogie and BVD in the morning, every Monday morning. Myself and Coach Jay going to be going live every Friday morning, trying to bring you guys as much content as possible. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. For the X Factor, for Dauber, for Coach Jay, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we charge.